Boy, did I get a lot of feedback on my recent video where I talked about the negatives of living in a 55 plus community. So it's obvious a lot of folks really enjoy living in a 55 plus community. In today's video, I'm going to share what a lot of those comments talked about, as well as some other research that I did on the benefits of living in 55 plus. And be sure to stay to the end because I'm going to share the most common thing that people said they love about living in 55 plus communities, as well as I'm going to share the favorite comment that I got of all of them. And I think it's going to make you chuckle. So be sure to stay until the end. Okay, let's go for a walk and talk about this. So, you know, one of the more common replies that people had is they love living with people with similar interests, similar stage of life, people that they connect with, and that there's a good social component at 55 plus. And I heard that in the comments, and then as I did some research for this video, that clearly came through loud and clear. So that's number one. I've actually got 5 of these plus a bonus. So number one is they really enjoy living with people with similar interests. And number two, you know, a lot of folks said that, you know what, their experience is it's actually less expensive to live in a 55 plus community, particularly when you take into account the amenities that they offer. People say they, you know, couldn't live in a similar apartment, couldn't live in a similar home in a community that offered those benefits outside of 55 plus. And I was kind of surprised. I looked up what does the average 55 plus community cost. So nationwide, the cost to live in a 55 plus community is $1,500 to $4,000 a month. Now I know that that's a really big spread, but that's what I was able to find. And the equivalent, just as a reference point, now this is not saying you're getting the same level of amenities, but the national average for rent in the United States, and this seems a little low to me, but it was a fairly recent study, says $1,100 a month is the average rent in the United States, and the average mortgage payment is $1,600 a month. So again, people in the comments did say, you know what, it's less expensive for me to live here than in some of my other alternatives. And that's the data that I found on that. I hope it's helpful. It's not perfect, right? I'd love to be able to say, you know, this is apples to apple comparison, but just know that some people found that it's less expensive to live 55 plus. Number 3 is 55 plus communities are developed and designed and strategically located near places that we want to be as we get older, right? So tends to be places with a lot of sunshine. Florida is the number one. Florida is the number one 55 plus community with over, or just at, I should say, 1,000 developments in Florida alone. And number 2 is Arizona. Now I think Florida is number 1 for a couple reasons, right? There's a lot of sunshine. I live in a place where it's cold a lot of the year, so that appeals to me. And then Florida is known as a place that's very tax favorable for seniors. And on this point, if you're interested in a video of different places in the United States that you can live with lower cost of living, lower tax burdens, leave me a comment and I'll think about doing a video on that if enough people are interested in it. Sunshine is one of the things, again, they're strategically located where seniors want to live. And then of course, as we get older, you know, we have to worry more about health issues. So they tend to be strategically located near quality medical centers. So those are both pluses. And if I didn't mention, Arizona is the second largest state for 55 plus communities. Again, a place that has a lot of sunshine, maybe a little too much sunshine in June, July, and August. It gets pretty hot down there. Okay, number 4 is security. People mention that they feel very safe in their gated community, and they tend to, a lot of the 55 plus communities tend to have on-site security. So, you know, security guards roaming and patrolling, I should say, the facility, just make sure that residents are as safe as they can be. So gated and often on-site security. Okay, number 5 that a lot of people liked is there tends to be less noise, because you don't have the kids running around. And some of us love that, living with young families and having young kids run around. And then other people are like, been there, done that. I'm ready to move on to a different stage. So tends to be less noise, although, the homes tend to be closer to one another and the homes tend to be a little bit smaller. So I think you balance that out. But clearly, people that are 60 years old, 70 years old are probably going to be a lot more quiet than people that are 3 years old. So less noise was definitely a plus. Okay, and then I told you to stay to the end. I'm going to share with you the number 1 thing that people really said that they enjoyed. I'm going to turn around here just so we can keep the lake behind me or in view for you, though actually that didn't work out, but we're over here. So the number 1 thing that people really said that they liked and really why they chose to live in a 55 plus community, the main driver was amenities. It's nice to live in a resort style place, right? I mean, we go on vacation maybe to places with a golf course or a resort, and they're fun to visit, but I can see the appeal of that. Boy, wouldn't it be nice to live in a situation like that. And during the pandemic, actually, I lived in San Diego for 6 months, 9 months, something like that. And it was near a university, but it was an apartment that had a lot of amenities. It had a super nice pool. It had really nice TV rooms, lounge areas that would normally be community. A lot of the community would hang out there. Obviously, during COVID, we were trying to keep distance, so you actually had to schedule your time in the TV room. But I gotta say, I did like those amenities. My wife had a hard time getting me to move out, and I mentioned it was near a college town because actually we got a good deal on the rent because there weren't students there, right? They were looking to fill up the place with people that weren't students because students were taking their classes remotely. So it worked out well. Normally I wouldn't have paid up for such a nice apartment, but it turned out it was affordable because of what was going on, and I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. So I can completely see this, right? 55 plus communities have golf courses, they have pools, they have fitness centers, they have social hours, they have activities that people are doing. Oftentimes they offer common dining experiences. Some people talked about they have a happy hour for them, and so they found the value. Maybe the cost was higher, but the value was worth it to them. Okay, and now for my favorite comment, and this was by a female viewer that said, when I turn 55, I want to build a tree house that has no stairs, and that made me chuckle. Clearly wants some time by herself. Probably spent a lot of her time caring for other people, husband, kids. There's just a lot of responsibilities as we're going through life. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, give me a thumbs up. As the kids say, thumbs for likes and subs for love. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And until next time, I'm Azul, encouraging you to take full advantage of the youth of your senior years. Remember, we're only young once. Let's use our time wisely.